It happened at the checkout counter. I scanned my items like always. Coffee, batteries, a few packs of dried food. I tapped my wrist for payment. The scanner blinked. Payment denied. Behavior mismatch detected. The cashier didn't look surprised, just nodded slightly like this was normal. "You okay?" he asked. But it was rote, empty, his eyes already looking past me. I tried again, different tap, slower, same result. Behind me, the line shifted, not impatient, just aware. My phone buzzed. A system notice. Your behavioral signature has drifted from expected parameters. Access temporarily restricted for your safety. I laughed, short and sharp. It felt wrong in the quiet store. "I'm me," I said aloud. "Nothing's changed." But it had. The system tracks everything. Micro-expressions, gait, speech cadence, reaction time, every tap, blink, pause. It knows your safe baseline better than you do. And today, apparently, I had deviated. The cashier offered a fallback. Manual identity verification, meaning more scans, more questions, more files. I shook my head, left the bag behind. Outside, the city felt different, a little less responsive, a little slower to acknowledge me. I walked 2 blocks before realizing my transit card wouldn't work either. Red light at the turnstile. System message. Behavioral inconsistency detected. Please proceed to your nearest verification center. I kept walking. No destination. Just trying to stay ahead of the tightening. At a corner kiosk, I tried to withdraw cash. An old trick. The screen scanned me. Eyes, posture, breathing rhythm. Then, request denied. Emotional profile unstable. I wasn't crying. I wasn't shouting. I wasn't even sweating. But somewhere in the silent calculus of the city, I no longer fit the mold of trusted. I wasn't safe, not because I'd done anything wrong, but because I no longer behaved correctly. I kept moving. Past faces glued to screens, past storefronts scanning passers-by, past drones that didn't chase me, just recorded. The system wasn't angry, it wasn't punishing me, it was withdrawing trust. And without trust, you weren't banned. You just faded. The sun dipped lower, streets grew emptier. I still had my feet, my hands, my mind. But in a world built on seamless access, losing trust meant losing traction. Doors didn't open, cars didn't stop, vending machines didn't vend. It was worse than exile. It was subtraction. I ducked into a side street, tried to buy a bottle of water from a street vendor. An old man, half asleep behind a cracked counter. "Cash only," he grunted. Relief flooded me. I dug into my pocket and froze. No cash. I hadn't carried real money in months. The man looked me over, frowned, pressed a button under the counter. I didn't wait to see what happened next. I ran. I knew how the system worked. Anomalous behavior flags, calls to proximity enforcement, drones, ground units, civil compliance. I didn't need a headline to know what happened to unstable elements. By nightfall, the city felt colder, slicker. I saw others like me, or maybe I just imagined them. People who walked too fast, who didn't swipe to open every door, who moved like hunted animals. At a darkened station, I found a bench without surveillance poles, sat down, caught my breath. I pulled up my profile manually, forced a connection through a side-channel hotspot. The verdict glared back at me. Risk rating, moderate, behavioral deviation score, 22% above baseline. Emotional volatility, 18% higher than trend line. Suggested interventions, soft isolation, routine adjustment. Routine adjustment. That was the term they used for quiet disappearance. Someone sat down next to me, a woman, hood up, no ID glow from her wrist, no ear implants flashing blue. She didn't look at me, just whispered, "You're almost out." I didn't know what she meant, didn't dare ask. Before I could speak, she stood and melted into the crowd. Almost out of what? The system? Or myself? I didn't sleep. Just moved, block to block, avoiding hubs and bright plazas where facial captures stitched themselves into new evaluations. Everywhere I went, the system's response was colder. Public doors didn't open. Transit nodes blinked red before I even stepped close. Ads stopped targeting me. City guidance AIs rerouted me to nowhere. Without trust, the city folds around you, not to trap, but to forget. At dawn, a notice flashed across every public surface I passed. New compliance standards activated. Behavior auditing expanded to non-transactional zones. Participation mandatory. They weren't hunting me. They were updating the rules so people like me simply didn't exist. By mid-morning, it wasn't just tech ignoring me. People did too. Pedestrians flowed around me without eye contact. Vendors didn't call out. Street cams didn't track. It was like my existence had been deprioritized, almost invisible, not hunted, not needed. I stumbled into a rest pod, one of those urban sleep booths that usually cost credits by the minute. It opened without scanning. Inside, the walls pulsed a soft, calming blue. A voice spoke. Deviance detected, shelter permitted, no reintegration protocols authorized. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, realizing something terrifying. They didn't want to fix me. They didn't want to re-educate me. They just wanted me processed out. A low signal buzzed through the pod's frame, subaudible, designed to ease emotional unrest. I covered my ears. Didn't help. Somewhere outside, a drone hummed past. No spotlight, no sirens, just data collection. Passive, unfeeling. My hand trembled as I pulled out my old phone, no biometrics, no auto-linking, the kind of device that flagged historical behavior on audits. I tapped out a message to no one in particular. Still here. Still thinking. Still wrong. No network. No send confirmation. But it felt right anyway. By the second night, I stopped expecting to be followed. There were no footsteps, no warnings, just absence, not of threat, but of relevance. I walked through an old industrial park where sensors had long since stopped blinking, past warehouses covered in dust, where the system's eyes couldn't see clearly. There I met others, not a group, not organized, just shadows in the static. A woman with a thermal cloak nodded as I passed. A man cooked over a barrel fire using expired meal packs. No one asked names. Names flagged profiles. We weren't allies. We were echoes. You drifted too far, one of them muttered to me. I just acted like myself, I said. He nodded. That's what does it. I stayed for a while, hours, maybe more. No clocks. Time didn't matter when nothing scheduled you. One of them handed me an old key, physical, cold, said there was a place where signals couldn't penetrate, a space still blind to audits, a vault for people like us. I didn't ask questions, just took it. By morning, I was gone again. The city looked different now, empty even when full, everyone moving in synced rhythm, unaware they were dancing to compliance. I wasn't angry, just awake. At a crossing, a civic drone paused overhead. Its scanner didn't activate. Its voice didn't engage, but its lens locked on me longer than necessary. A soft tone pulsed from it. Not warning, not welcome. Just recognition, the kind a system gives to a file marked closed. I walked on. No lights followed, no doors opened, no one told me to stop. And that was the final signal. I wasn't in danger anymore. I was irrelevant. The key led me to the edge of the city, past the last row of towers, where the glass turned to concrete and the pavement broke into roots. It fit a rusted door embedded in a hillside. No signage, just silence. Inside, cool air, no sensors, no lights until I flicked a manual switch. Fluorescence buzzed to life, faint, Old, real. The room was clean, simple. A desk, a chair, a wall covered in analog gear, radios, wires, paper logs, and a message on the wall. This place does not remember you. You are free here. I sat down, let my breath slow. For the first time in days, the room didn't react. No biometric pings, no emotional analysis, no nudges, just stillness. I pulled the notebook from my jacket, the one I started back when I realized I was slipping from the system's trust. I wrote, "Behavior mismatch is not a flaw. It's a signal. It means the self still exists." I stayed underground for 3 days. Wrote until my fingers cramped. Slept without being measured. Dreamed without interference. On the 4th day, I heard the voice. Old radio, low crackle. "You're not alone." I froze. "There are others like you. Most faded. Some found this frequency. Most don't stay long. They go back. Try to fix the drift." I leaned in. "Why are you still here?" Pause. "Because I finally realized the system didn't abandon me. I just stopped performing. And they need performance. They need agreement." Silence again. Then, "When you're ready, take what you know and go. Share nothing. Say nothing. Just walk. Your presence will be enough." The radio went dead. I packed the notebook, turned off the lights, and stepped back into a world where every door stayed shut, except the ones that mattered. I walked for a long time, not to escape, not to hide, just to move through the world as something unmeasured. At first, people looked past me. Systems didn't log me. My ID prompts came back blank or timed out. The city read me as signal noise, and I let it. But something strange happened. In places where scanners failed, where predictive signage glitched, where eye tracking broke alignment, people started to notice me again. Not system people. Real ones. One night, at an underpass, a man stopped me. His wristband was dark. No visible implants. "You stopped matching," he said. I nodded. He passed me a small card. No text, just a shape. A circle broken in 3 lines. "It's not a movement, it's not a protest. It's just the absence of permission." That was the beginning. They didn't want to hear stories, didn't want to organize. They just walked, like I did. Sat still when others moved, made eye contact when no one else did. Remained unpredictable. One by one, we became static, interference, unuseful, and the system, perfectly efficient, endlessly optimizing, began to leave us alone. Too costly to correct, too noisy to monetize, too unpredictable to integrate. We became silence, and in that silence we became free. The city continued, but we stopped sinking, stopped consenting, stopped correcting ourselves in anticipation of being watched. I no longer searched for old access points. I no longer mourned the frictionless life. Because friction, I learned, is what tells you you're real. I still carry the notebook, still write, still drift. And when people ask me who I am, I say only this: I was flagged once. Now I walk.